Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, have you ever scrolled all the way to the bottom of a web page? I mean, way down, past all the important stuff, right into the fine print? We're going to dig into that forgotten space today, because believe it or not, hidden in some of the most boring text you can imagine is a pretty incredible story about the future of tech.
So, this is what we're talking about. At first glance, it's just digital junk, right? The footer of a website, you get your payment options, your terms of use, contact and support. It's the kind of stuff our brains are literally trained to ignore. It's practically invisible.
But what if, buried in all this totally mundane text, there's a clue? A really clever, insightful, and maybe even a little unnerving clue about where technology is heading. What's the story hiding right here in plain sight?
All right, so let's treat this thing like a detective story. We've got our scene of the crime, and our first job is to sift through the evidence, find the signal in all this noise.
Okay, first things first. Let's just clear out all the clutter. Change password, order history, sitemap. This is all the standard boilerplate stuff you find absolutely everywhere. This is not our clue. Let's just push it all to the side.
And once you filter out all that noise, something else starts to stand out. There's this one line, kind of hidden in the jargon, that just doesn't quite fit. And that, right there, that is the key to this entire puzzle.
So what is this key piece of evidence? Well, it's actually the title of the article this whole webpage is from. So the title reads, "When Attention is All Marketers Need, Artificial Intelligence in Marketing." Okay, the second half is pretty straightforward, but that first part, when attention is all marketers need, the way that's phrased, it's just a little bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, that phrasing feels just a little clunky for a reason. It's not a typo, it's a message. So let's zoom in a little closer.
When attention is all marketers need, it's just slightly off. And that's exactly the point. That awkward phrasing is 100% intentional. The real question is, why?
And this, my friends, this is the aha moment. This is where the whole puzzle just snaps right into focus. So, what's really going on here? That weird phrasing isn't a mistake. It's a pun. And it's a very nerdy, very, very brilliant one. Okay, look at this. On the left, you've got our phrase from the marketing article. And on the right, that's the title of a landmark 2017 paper from researchers at Google. Attention is all you need. It's a direct, totally intentional play on words. Kind of like an inside joke for people who are deep in the world of AI.
And attention is all you need isn't just any old research paper. We're talking about the paper that introduced the transformer architecture. That is the fundamental tech behind almost all the modern AI we use today, from ChatGPT to all those crazy image generators. The attention mechanism it describes is what lets an AI understand context by, paying attention to the most important words in a sentence.
So, who's making this super clever connection between a core AI principle and the world of marketing? I mean, who's actually behind this joke?
Well, this isn't from some marketing blog or a hip tech startup. It's a publication from the IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers.
And if you go to their own website, the IEEE calls itself the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. And that mission, that phrase, for the benefit of humanity, well, that adds a really fascinating final layer to our little puzzle here. And just to be clear, we're not talking about some small think tank. This is the largest organization of its kind on the entire planet. When the IEEE frames a discussion about technology, the engineering world listens. So let's put all these pieces together. We've basically solved the puzzle, but what's the final picture? What's the bigger story that it's telling us? So here's the whole picture, laid out. You've got the concept, this revolutionary AI technology that's literally named attention. You've got its application, marketing, an industry that is, let's be honest, built on capturing our attention. And then you have the steward of this whole conversation, the IEEE, an organization whose entire mission is to benefit humanity. So what we have is this really fascinating and maybe kind of tense intersection. You've got this game-changing technology, an incredibly powerful industry that wants to use it, and this ethical framework that's supposed to guide them both. That title, it wasn't just a nerdy pun. It was a statement about this exact relationship. Which leaves us with one final, pretty provocative question.
A technology literally named attention is being used by marketers to command our attention. The main organization stewarding this tech says it's dedicated to benefiting humanity. So, when technology is built to command our attention, who's making sure it's actually for our benefit? Now that's something to think about.